So we're in the cab, and this is really nice to see these gauges working again. This is the air coming up, so we're approaching about 6 bar. This is the air in the brake system, so obviously 0 at the moment. I've put my foot on the brake, see that spring round, and then back to 0. So now the air's coming up there. What I'm going to do is turn this valve rather, and put the air into the tyres. So here we go. So it jumped up and now we're going down, and we'll see what the true pressure is in the tyres in a minute. See, that one there has dropped from what it was, nearly 6, down to 4 bar. And now we're just inside the yellow zone. We want to get that up to about 2 really. That's finally looking a bit healthier. Maybe I'll even able to steer it now, you never know. This is the accelerator pedal and mechanism from the DAF. There's miles of it. So there's the pedal end and there's the engine end. And it's actually a really nice mechanism. One of the few things on the DAF truck that was actually much better than what was on the ZIL here. Yeah, and the pedal and the engine. That's about it. Anyway, I'm thinking of installing this onto the ZIL. Now the original ZIL pedal just had we went through the bulkhead there and then just had a rod about that long, because the carburettor on the V8 engine was in the middle of the engine bay. The accelerator system for this engine is closer to the front here, but yeah, certainly don't need all this. I did consider shortening the cable. I think it would be doable, but then I thought there's no actual practical reason to do that, provided I can actually accommodate this somewhere inside the engine bay where it's not going to get damaged. I'm going to go with it as it is, I think. Be able to just possibly make out the existing accelerator pedal just there. So I've got to get that out and then cut a hole in the floor for this kind of rectangular-ish type of shape. Then this pedal should drop into the floor and bolt through these 3 holes, and that should be that. I'm going to try undoing it first before I go and get the angle grinder. There's definitely something magical about the Soviet bolts. You just undo rather than fall apart. It's very different to working on the Land Rover. Right, so the old pedal was there. So this has 50 gaps in there, so we're going for the actual 40. So we've gone 40 mil forward at that point. There. So that's our first cut line. So there we go. That's what I need to cut out. I'm going to do my best to not get any sparks on any glass or anything like that inside the cab. That's what the cardboard's for. I'll do my best not to set fire to it as well. There it is. There's the hole, or at least half the hole. There's a brace going across, which I've got to carve a section out of. See if it fits. There, it goes through there. Something like that. Cool. Right, let's get some nuts on the bottom of these bolts and then hook the other end to the engine. Right, it's quite a lot of excess. I'm going to loop it around the engine somehow, and it's going to come back and attach onto these points here with that, and then hook onto there. Or I might just end up shortening it. But yeah, I don't think I need to. Yeah, soon find out. Let's try it out. Make sure it's in neutral. So I've still got to start it out here at the moment, but it's still a million times better than cranking it by hand. Well, it's starting well. Another tiny step on the way. Currently then, there's no fan cooling down the engine as it's running. This was the fan that came with the engine. It's a perfectly good fan, but it's useless for our purposes, mainly because it sat on the front pulley of the engine, which would be about down here. So not only does it miss half of the radiator when it's configured like this, there's a cross member in the way as well, so yeah, this is completely useless. There's also no opportunity to mount it to one of the other pulleys that's in the engine either, so yeah, we're just going to have to do without a mechanical fan. It would probably run for a long time without getting too hot, because this is a massive radiator, but I'm just really paranoid about overheating it, because with a diesel engine you generally only get one chance, well, one opportunity to overheat it, and then it's game over. Anyway, I've been searching through my piles of useful stuff and I found this, which is, I think it's the air conditioning for the off of an old Range Rover. So we've got two what would be 12 volt fans here, and my plan is, because we're moving this from 12 volt to 24 volt, if I put these together in series, so daisy chain them together rather than in parallel as they are at the moment, they'll run off the 24 volt. unless they're seized, which they might well be, because this is, yeah, they certainly haven't turned for 10 years or more. Anyway, let's get them in the workshop and have a look. Right then, do the first check. There's plenty of cobwebs. Oop. Well, one of them spins. Yeah, one of them spins. That. Ooh. Yeah. Got a bit of WD-40 in the middle. I don't know if it's gone anywhere useful. I can't take the blades off because I think this hub will just fall apart if it's got these little tags that bend over, and I'm not convinced they'll bend back again without just snapping. Well, let's hook it up. There's nothing happening there. Nothing at all. So that one's fine. I just can't believe the difference in condition from this one, which is just really hard to turn, won't draw any current, just kaput, to this one, which spins easily and seems absolutely fine. That's that then. No progress today. Ooh. Time for an unboxing. So I've got two 12 volt fans, even though it's going to be a 24 volt system, because they're much cheaper. Obviously 12 volt stuff's much more readily available, there's much more of it. Plan is then to run them in series, so chain them together. This is the fixing kit that comes with it. It's just a sort of glorified cable tie that you're supposed to attach this onto the radiator itself. I'm not going to be doing that, I'm going to make an actual bracket for it. And this here this is the thermostat. So it's completely independent of anything else on the truck. We can set a temperature for the cut in there, and it's just a relay switch on the back. And it says on the relay 20 amps, 250 volts, so I think it's going to cope with 24 just fine. Good. Next job then is to make that bracket. Yeah, I reckon I can put a strip of steel in there and another one along the bottom. That should be about right. There's my two bits of steel then, one top and one bottom. Now it's slightly complicated by the fact that the radiator is going to sit slightly inside a well, so this still needs to be cranked here, and go like that, and then come up and out a bit. So come up there and then out there. Right, let's pull it all together. So there's some 6mm countersunk bolts in there. I'm using countersunk bolts so when it's fitted the fans will sit absolutely flush with the radiator. Cool. Next step then is to install the little thermostat. And that will sit down there. Like I say, that probe up to there, and then the fan wiring comes in at the bottom. And I think that'll be quite a safe place to put it. That made the initial holes. The step drill is a much better bet for going through thin stuff like this. Cool. Good. So it's a pretty hot day and I should be able to test the fans without actually firing up the engine. I should be able to dial the thermostat right away down to ambient temperature and then the fans will kick in. So I think I've got it all hooked up to the electrics. I just got it on a temporary 24 volt feed at the moment. So yeah, if I got it right, this is currently set at 120. Down, down, down. As you can probably hear, they're working. I haven't actually got round to hooking up the hydraulic steering just yet, but we're going to try and take it for a test drive anyway. Well, not much of a test drive. I'm basically going to try and turn it, see if I'm man enough to do that. So I'm going to start the engine, pump the tyres up as hard as possible, and then see if I can manually steer the thing, even though the power steering's not working. We'll see. Well, I wouldn't want to drive any distance, but it's kind of doable if you want to work out.